Alright, everybody. Uh, Welcome back for a very khaki episode of Ted's movie review. It's episode 3, and we got a very, very good film up for today. We had Just Mercy, a film starring Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Lee Fox, I was almost saying Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, but Jamie Foxx. Don't know why I accidentally said that. And they were awesome in it. They were two of my large reasons why I loved the film. The film had a lot of characters, so I'll kind of just get into the characters of the film. And now it's a film based on a true story about this guy named Brian, who is a lawyer in the South, in Alabama, from Harvard, who ended up saving tons of people on death row, and he's played by Michael B. Jordan, and he's working with Jamie Foxx, who plays a guy named Johnny D, who's a convict. And I'm very out of breath right now. I don't know why. Take a few breaths. Alright, so Jamie Foxx. No, starting with Michael B. Jordan, since he's the big star. He was amazing. Going into it, I know I've seen Michael B. Jordan and stuff, but I can't think of what stuff. But he starts off and he's this Harvard kid, so he's playing a character that's very reserved, and he talks just like, "Hello, it is me, Michael B. Jordan," like that kind of thing. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this character. He's like kind of boring, and he's too calm, and his whole character is that he's a calm person and he's very reserved. And the reason this turns out to be awesome is because when he's calm and has this reserved character, it's because his character is somebody who's always in charge and taking lead and is always trying to put up that he's in control so that everybody feels safe around him and calm around him and feels like that he's got everything under control. And you do feel like he's got it. Like if he was there with you and he's like, "David, you can do this," I'd be like, "Thank you, I can do this." And it's awesome because then there are the parts where it's by himself, and it'll be after these big moments, like when he gets strip searched, or when the cops pull him over, or after he has to deal with her stuff. Those moments is where he shows emotion. It feels so much more impactful. It's so much more real, and the emotions are so raw because he's held them in for so long, and then he's finally letting them go, and those are some great moments, and he acts them out really well, and I loved it. And that's why I really liked his performance. Moving on, we got Jamie Foxx, who plays Johnny D. And I loved his performance just because, whereas Michael B. Jordan has this, like, he has the very calm or his intense moments, Jamie is all over the place. He will show you all the different moments. There are different emotions. He can be distrustful, he can be nervous, he can be super sad, he can be super angry, he can be super happy. He just shows all of them, and he does all of them so well. Like the scene where he's just calming down Herb. Like, I was in the theater and I felt so zen. I was like, I'm with the trees. Like, I actually felt that. And when he's crying, when he's getting slammed into the bed by the prison guards, it's so raw and sad, and you feel it with him, and you feel like you're there feeling it with him. And then those were the two guys, and they were super awesome. And then moving on, the reason I like it besides that is we have this main story, right, is about Johnny D. He's the main case. He's the main guy. But one of the parts that made this movie so great is we have a side case that is going on at the exact same time that is equally as powerful and had some of the moments that got me. I mean, I cried. Like, sometimes I cry in a movie, and then this movie, like, I tear up in movies, but this movie I cried. And it wasn't for the Johnny D parts. I cried for those parts, but not cried. Because the Herb parts is the side plot that it's so good. And it's talking about Herb and how he isn't saved. He has the sad story. And the moments in the prison and with all the cups and everything, it's just so good. And that's just not even the main story. So you get just this extra story that's amazing on its own, but it also is able to weave in, like, thematically, and it, like, works with the plot. Brian ends up using what happened at her to fuel his talking to the convict guy. So it all, like, ties in together. Amazing. And another side plot that's even smaller but still amazing is just the security guard dude. They barely even show you. There's nothing in words said to develop this character. We just see it happen throughout, just through these small little snippets where he's bad at the start. We see him break a little at the execution. He starts to be nice, and then we see him develop. So it's cool, and that's just like a side story, and it's nice. So the rest of the characters all pretty decent. The bad guys were super bad, and they were portrayed cool, and they're portrayed bad, and you really hated them. So there's a good job on that. You gotta appreciate that. What else? I guess the last thing is, when it's a true story, it's always weird sometimes because it'll say at the start, like, based on a true story, and then things will just get wacky, and you're like, how is this based? That's when you really you see the base, and you're like, oh, okay, that's somewhat based. But this was a story where it says based on a true story, and nothing really seemed wacky enough to have not been real. Everything appeared legitimate, nothing was crazy, all of the scenes made sense. It didn't seem like they had to add anything to make it exciting. It seemed like it was just exciting in and of itself. Or at least they were able to do it well enough that it appeared that way. And that, mixed with the great characters, a great story, and great person. Just Brian, the guy, like, if anything, it's just cool to see such an inspiring story and such an inspiring guy. He went on to save 100 guys or something like that. So that's just awesome. And yeah, great movie, great guy, great actors, everything. 2 great movies in a row. So thank you for tuning in again, and I'll see you guys next time with Doolittle.